Soft, melancholic piano music begins almost imperceptible, a slight echo. Right, hello, it feels necessary to chronicle this, not for anyone precisely, just to order the chaos. You see, I've always believed truly, and with a conviction that borders on the theatrical, I admit that untangling the threads of a disaster is the closest one can get to preventing another. It's a rather grand notion, perhaps, for someone my age, but well, one has standards, doesn't one? And frankly, the sheer scale of the affront demands a commensurate level of intellectual rigor. It started, as these things often do, with a promise, a shimmering illusion of escape. My parents, bless their increasingly bewildered hearts, had decided a family holiday was in order, Mallorca of all places. A perfectly acceptable destination, I suppose, though lacking a certain size quoi. I require a destination to understand me, to anticipate my every whim. But one does not always get what one requires, does one? They booked, with what I initially perceived to be a degree of foresight, Marriott's Club Sun Antem. The photos, darling, the photos. A cascade of sun-drenched villas, emerald golf courses, and a spa that promised a level of restorative tranquility that I hadn't experienced since leaving Fortnum Mason after a particularly successful shopping spree. It was, in short, offensively idyllic, and, as I would soon discover, an elaborate, meticulously crafted lie. The moment we arrived, a subtle dissonance began to creep in. A feeling akin to a misplaced comma in a perfectly written sentence that something was off. The reception, while perfectly adequate, lacked the instinctive deference I've come to expect. No immediate acknowledgement of my inherent fabulousness, no preemptive offering of chilled Evian. A minor infraction, perhaps, but a harbinger. Then came the villas. Oh, the villas, luxury they called them, the audacity. Picture, if you will, a structure that had clearly peaked in its aesthetic appeal sometime around the Reagan administration. The decor, a symphony of beige and faded floral prints, spoke volumes about the resort's lingering commitment to nothing. The kitchen, a sterile expanse of chipped laminate and outdated appliances, was equipped with the bare minimum required to prevent outright starvation. A spoon, 2 forks, and a chipped glass. It summoned images of my grandmother's dacha, only far less charming, less soulful, and without regards. Utterly soulless. But the true horror lay in the geography. It was a sprawling complex in good God, a walking excursion worthy of Sir Edmund Hillary. My villa, darling, my villa was a 15-minute trek from reception. 15 minutes. Imagine subjecting one to such physical exertion simply to procure a latte. And I learned, with a growing sense of existential dread, that some villas were as far as 30 minutes away. 30 minutes, it's barbaric. It's as if they actively seek to punish anyone with a pulse. I am telling you, the physical strain induced by the sheer distance gave me an aching hazard. I'm saying, darling, your ankles will cry. They will wail. I overheard a boy, I think he was 15, a child really, lamenting the same fate. No piers anywhere nearby, just an expanse of desolate villas and the gnawing realization that he had traded a summer of joyful debauchery for a purgatory of beige and solitude. It was heartbreaking, and honestly, terribly gauche. The lack of consideration for children is particularly egregious. A resort purporting to cater to families should, at the very least, ensure that its youngest patrons aren't subjected to a forced march every time they require a simple pleasure. Don't you agree? It's simply uncivilized. And then, the descent accelerated. The service, which had been merely deficient, devolved into outright hostility. Staff members, like sculpted gargoyles, regarded all requests with an air of profound disdain. Their assistants went, oh.
Effort was delivered with the theatrical reluctance of a condemned man. I attempted to express my dissatisfaction, explaining, as politely as my rapidly fraying nerves allowed, that the golf towels weren't being replaced. Apparently a cardinal sin at Marriott's Club Sun Antem. The policy, I was informed, was that villa guests were expected to transport their damp, sandy towels to the main pool area for exchange. Transport them. As if I were a pack mule rather than a discerning patron. And when I finally, after a 30-minute odyssey in my wet swimsuit, reached the front desk, I was met not with apology,
Okay, here's the let's be frank. Coming from a place that values genuine experience, exploring the businesses surrounding the Marriott's Club Sun Antem, Mallorca, it's been a disheartening exercise. It's as if a shadow has fallen over the potential for simple, enjoyable experiences. These aren't isolated incidents. This represents, almost universally, the landscape you're entering. It's a disappointment, a creeping sense of unease. I'll attempt to articulate the pattern, the echoing complaints, the pervasive feeling of being shortchanged. Let's begin with places geared towards leisure like shopping. The overall impression is that businesses nearby are operating on a foundation of neglect, once possessing a glimmer of promise, now worn down to a state of sadness. Take Fan Mallorca shopping, for example. It's become a story of broken promises. People speak of hours lost in the car park, a concrete labyrinth of frustration. It feels like a trap, and then there's the decay within. Parents recall playgrounds bordering on dangerous baby-changing facilities as places you wouldn't willingly put a baby, a general air of abandonment. You get a sense the owners stopped caring, simply hoping people wouldn't notice the chipping paint, the splintered wood. Think of it a family holiday punctuated by a splinter. It feels wrong. There are mentions of closures on Sundays, a ghost town after the weekend rush. It's not a vibrant hub, it's a half-hearted imitation. Almost as if they are trying to keep it alive, keeping breathing, but its soul is already gone. It's a feeling you can almost taste, a metallic tang of regret, and it isn't just a surface-level decline. There's a deeper layer of disregard. Reports of pet shops exhibiting shocking levels of animal neglect, a dying rabbit ignored by staff that speaks to a core indifference. Toilets, oh the toilets. They're a recurring theme, filthy, broken, overflowing. A basic human need, treated with utter contempt. Even simple logistics fall apart. No luggage storage, buses not stopping, taxi drivers inflating prices. It's almost as if the entire operation is designed to inconvenience you. It's a subtle hostility. Then you have the restaurants, and this is where my sensitivities are truly tested. Lars Bras's steakhouse specifically has generated a swell of complaints. The consensus: the meat is a gamble, a culinary Russian roulette. People order medium rare and receive raw. Expect to be handed a tiny grill, forced to finish cooking your own steak. Premium picanha left untouched, a testament to sheer incompetence. There's a distinct strain of kitchen-level chaos. It feels like a group of students in a kitchen attempting something far beyond their skill level. It's not just about poor cooking, it's about a decided disrespect for your time, your money, and frankly, your digestive system. There's a disturbing undercurrent of arrogance. The staff, as described, are not merely inept, they're dismissive, sometimes even rude. There are implications of child labor and blatant favoritism towards certain customers. The smell of entitlement, it's nauseating. And the sheer volume of complaints about the food being inedible, it's not just bad luck, it's a pattern. They've gone past the bad stage and have hit an abominable stage like an artist showing a horror scene. And then the bills, accounts of optional service charges appearing randomly, attempts to overcharge, a general air of financial opportunism. They're preying on tourists, on people who won't necessarily notice a few extra euros. It feels predatory. It's a corrosion of trust, a sense that you're being actively exploited. Moving on to accommodation, Hotel Sun Antem presents a different but equally concerning picture. For a 5-star establishment, the complaints center around basic failings. A pervasive smell in the rooms, a lack of consideration for guests. It appears the service levels have dramatically declined while costs have soared.
Truly, truly heartbreaking. Deceptionante, as one reviewer put it, not recommended. Spaces meant for relaxation, the spa, are described as freezing. Soundproofing appears to be non-existent, with wedding parties disrupting late-night sleep. It's a betrayal of the promise of tranquility. It's a fractured ideal. All the way to the simple task of getting a refund becomes a bureaucratic nightmare. You become another step to just get some money despite not receiving the service. Even seemingly innocuous beach bars contribute to this overall feeling of disappointment. Bamboo Beach Bar seems to operate under a somewhat capricious,
soft, melancholic Georgian girl voice, speaking slowly with pauses, like she is sad, but trying to explain, you know. I was looking into what happens near Marriott's Club Sun Antem, Mallorca, and like, it is not good. The businesses there, they trick tourists. Not all, but some. And it is so sad, because people just want a nice holiday, you know. Like one time, an Irish family bought a timeshare for 2 weeks, just 2 weeks. From the sales office near Marriott's Club Sun Antem, the salespeople said, "Oh yes, you can use it anytime." But then nothing, no rooms, always full. The family probably cried, they paid so much money. But the court said Marriott had to give back 68,874. That's a lot. I think after that, the family never trusted timeshares again. And the salespeople probably still there, doing the same thing to others. Then there was this Swiss couple. They bought a timeshare near Marriott's Club Sun Antem, Mallorca, but later they couldn't afford it. They tried to sell it back, but guess what? Oh, the wait list is years long. How is that fair? The court said no, Marriott had to pay them back 28,328 plus interest. The couple probably felt so relieved, but also so tired. Like, why do people do this? And this Dubai tourist, it is so bad. They bought a gold season week near Marriott's Club Sun Antem, Mallorca, but the fees kept going up, up, up. When they tried to leave, they were told, sorry, you have to wait forever. The court said no, give them back 19,410. I bet the tourist just wanted to forget the whole thing. It is always the same near Marriott's Club Sun Antem, Mallorca. Salespeople smile, make big promises, take